then we are saying, if you really want this to work, instead of taxing more, and you can, if you're looking at the whole idea of tax, look at what happens for the payee. Even forget about the businesses. Look at the payee. You know, the payee is the government knows that you exist,
yes,
and you're working at this particular company, and you are paid this amount of money. It's easy for us to collect money from you, you know, versus the guy who's doing Nachomelea, no, sometimes they don't even understand where this guy is.
Yes.
So what we are saying, if we are able to broaden that tax base, give incentives for people to come into the tax bracket and say, I really want to, you know, do my fair share. Pay my fair share of taxes, you know, build my own roads by those taxes, and then simplify this idea. And we've seen actually even Kerry trying to simplify the tax filing part of it. But the whole idea of what the tax is more difficult than basically just filing. We are saying, how can you understand how much you're supposed to pay? For me to understand, I will need to read the tax code. So that I can understand what qualifies for these exemptions, what qualifies, you know. That now brings me to the idea of, as a regular SME, you are not in that position to actually even read that tax act.
Yes.
So then it means the cost of compliance is going to go high. I'm going to have to get an accountant or a tax consultant to be able to read that code and tell me, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to go about these taxes. So simplifying tax will be the best case, I will say, but also now giving incentives for people to come into the tax bracket will actually assist.
And actually they would be doing that from a point of understanding.
Yeah. Some people actually, they don't even understand, they run away.
Yeah.
We have had clients who receive a query from KRA. They never read it. You know, they look at it, they're like, oh, this is so scary. And then they look for somebody to come and read and, you know, advise them. Some of them, they wait until the last minute when KRA is saying, hey, we are going to freeze the accounts. You know, if you don't have to talk to us, then they say, at that point, let's look for this particular guy. Then from then on, you can have that conversation. But you see, if it was much easier, and it doesn't look like we are policing you, you know, we are a service provider. You hear KRA saying we want to move it into a service and all that, you know, so that people will easily walk into a KRA office, say, actually, I have this problem, how can we fix it? People will actually come back to the tax bracket.